What was that?
I just flew in from Miami. My arms are pretty tired.
Oh.
Good guns!
Golly. Oh.
Like a nasty bump.
She went off a cliff.
I mean, her suspension bottomed out in a truck.
Dude.
Is she gonna hit it again? What's those people's windows?
Yo, dude.
Yeah, I would. Well, no, if you're holding it.
Oh, like this. So I don't have a cord dangling all over.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I wouldn't do that unless that's what I would do. Okay, guys. I come to you live, me stealing another Adam LZ video idea. I get a lot of questions about what is done to my car, this one in particular. And today, I just want to bring you guys through how I got these cars, what's done to them, make sure I'm talking into my microphone, and why I have them, my favorite memories, and let's go through them. This is my 2005 Mustang GT. I bought this car about 4 years ago, and this is the first car that I ever really put money into and like learned how to work on cars with. This thing, it's basically bone stock. It has, this thing basically just has ricer mods. So let's start in the interior. So first off, we got this, one of my favorite pieces in this car, my genuine Nardi Italian steering wheel. This thing adds at least 30 horsepower, as well as this Corbeau FX1 Pro. It's a real rep. It's the real version of a rep seat.
Tell me about this little switch.
This little switch right here is the bane of my existence. This car has overheated since day one of buying it. Not day one, since year one of buying it. First year I had this car, it started overheating. I've had it for 4 years, and I've never been confident that it's not gonna overheat on a road trip with me. That's my favorite feature of this car. Oh yeah, also the shifter, another bane of this car. It is a Hurst Competition Plus, stuck to a dog turd that Ford put in this car, that they called a TR3650. I have fought this car shifting since I put this shifter in. It has never shifted as good as it did the day I got it with just the stock shifter, which makes me want to put the stock shifter back in. I have done everything to this car that you can. I have done the shifter mount, I've done the blowfish bracket, I've done the short shifter, I've done a no-lift shift ignition cut to help with drivetrain slack. Nothing. Grinds all the gears.
The blowfish bracket helps, right?
Oh, definitely. Sure. Here's where we get into the actual work that I've done to this car. This car is sitting, of course, on BC Racing BR Series coilovers. It is also sitting on control arms that I don't remember who they're from.
BMR.
Probably BMR.
No way.
Yeah, we got some nice.
Mustang with BMR parts?
Oh, you know it. We got uppers, lowers in the rear, keeping this rear end tight, so if you put any power to it, it'll just spin the wheels right off. Real good at that. This thing does burnouts, let me tell you. Second gear burnouts, sometimes. As far as front suspension, we also have our BC coilovers, which actually are amazing. They have transformed how this car feels from being a 20-year-old American boat to a 20-year-old American sports car, kind of. As well as our extended lower control arms and cut knuckles from Davey Peoples, my boy at Hand Tight Racing. sponsored the build. First official sponsor with my baller angle kit. This thing actually is baller. It handles amazing. My favorite feature of the angle kit is parking at my work's parking garage, because I can just get right up next to a spot, crank the wheel 90 degrees, and just crab walk into that parking spot. So yeah, we also got some pads and rotors. We got the cracked rotor special, as well as the stickiest pads I could find that put the most brake dust on my wheels possible. I washed my wheels 2 hours ago. 2 hours ago I washed my wheels, and we already got brake dust piling up. That's a good thing. Now, let's talk about when I bought this car. The first mod I ever did to it was this thing right here. This chin spoiler. This is every 3-valve guy's first mod. This chin spoiler right here, because this thing looks ugly without a chin spoiler. Don't mind that. We just got the basic Mustang mods. We got the stuff on it. Don't worry about it. Now, as far as engine, prepare yourself. We have our JLT cold air intake. It sucks. Loud. And we also have this brace. Oh, that sounds loose. Okay, yeah. It might come out. This thing actually does considerably impact handling. I felt a tighten up in the front end when I put that on. So there is a little flex in the front end of these cars. So this car is still on stock headers, stock manifolds. We have a BBK catless X pipe. You're not going to find it anywhere. Everyone always asks for it. I'm really sorry, but it was discontinued about 3 years ago. The only way you're going to find it is aftermarket or by making your own catless X pipe. But the catless X pipe really makes this thing sound nice. Muffling that raspy X pipe, we have our Borla S-type stingers. This is my favorite sounding muffler I've ever heard on a 3-valve. I have hated how the tone on this car was when I had the Roush exhaust. It was loud and obnoxious and good for teenagers, but this Borla S-type really sounds amazing. And now, as far as rear bumper, I always get asked what diffuser this is. It is a GT500 rear bumper. And speaking of this brings me into, I want to get in my favorite memories with these cars and why I bought them. I bought this car originally 4 years ago because the guy filming, he had a Mustang too, and I wanted one because I was jealous. And then I came across this one. I spent all my money on this one, and I got a pretty good deal on it. I bought it when it had 50,000 miles from some old Italian guy that was too short to drive it, so he had wooden blocks on the pedals.
Why you gotta call him out like that?
It's part of the lore. You guys want to know the lore? This is the lore.
Alright, solid.
Yeah, really cool guy. He actually saved it for me. I didn't have the money for it at first.
Remember when he took you on the test drive?
I'm gonna get to it. Yeah, so this guy was actually really nice. I met him with Ben. We went out and test drove this car. And the first time I test drove it, I didn't have the money for it. I had about $4,000 to my name, and the car was listed for $10,000, which was a pretty crackhead deal at the time. Like right now, that would be insane. If there was a 3-valve with 50,000 miles for $10,000, I'd buy it in an instant. But back then, it was still a really good deal. And I told the guy I didn't have the money for it, and he was like, oh, okay. And I just assumed it would sell because it had been up for about a week on Craigslist. And he told me he had 5 people come and test drive it. And when I got home, I just assumed I wouldn't get it. And I figured it was a loss. And then the guy actually messaged me back, and he told me he deleted the listing for me because he knew I wanted it so bad. And he saved this car for me, and he told everyone else that offered him more money that they couldn't have it because he wanted me to have it. So this car is meant for me. It's my car. That's why I'm not going to sell it, even though I want to sometimes, even though I want to most of the time. And yeah, I had this car for about 2 years, and then as some of you may remember, I got rear-ended at a red light. Excellent.
Welcome to Gandy Boulevard.
Yeah, we're at my home. We're at the home skid pad. Orlando boys have OSW. St. Pete boys have the Gandy skid pad. There's no rules here. Cageless tandems, bring them here.
Pitch looking beautiful.
Pitch looking beautiful today. Go home to the wife Susan.
Yeah.
Rev up the Bugatti.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, all jokes aside, this might be one of my favorite mods of the car is my license plate that I've been rear-ended in twice at this point. This license plate has more history than any license plate ever.
That thing's flatter than more license plates I've seen.
I have been rear-ended twice in this plate, and both times it was completely crumpled into a ball, and I saved it and I hammered it out flat, and that's why it's staying on here, the original plate. Yeah, going into that, probably my favorite memory with this car is just doing shitties at Gandy with my friends, coming out here, throwing it in, hucking it in first gear, hanging limiter when I should be shifting up to second, but I'm scared of second gear at the time because I didn't have my baller angle kit. Now I'm not scared of third gear. I'll huck it in third gear if you guys let me. This also goes along with the rear ending incident. I had the discontinued Raxium Vectors, the clear tails that everybody wanted. No one could get them because they were discontinued. This thing was rare. It had all the rare 3-valve parts. It had Nismo old logo tail lights. Yeah, this thing was FES. This is daily spec. And yeah, this thing was D spec. And yeah, the guy in the GMC took them away from me. But honestly, I'm happier with these now because they don't have the reflector on the bottom. I still got the Vectors. I'm still balling on the Vectors, just not as rare. Also, MMD ducktail. I really like this. This was rear-ended with me, and I had the guy work it out with fiberglass so I could keep it. And this is the video you guys just watched previously. Go watch my previous video. I just painted this. I'm still unsure about it. Do you guys like it? Let me know. I'm insecure. All right. And yeah, we got the JDM comfortable passenger seat for my girlfriend so she doesn't complain about her lumbar. Got to keep this thing to its roots. Oh yeah, we have the HRE fire extinguisher too. Gotta make tech in this thing to all the events I bring it to. I don't bring this car to many events because I'm scared of breaking it and because it doesn't make much grip, but it's really fun to drive and I want to take it to more events when I move. What I wanted to do is I wanted to have a little rev battle in the spirit of copying Adam LZ's video. I wanted to have a rev battle between my two cars, so I'm gonna give you guys the Mustang's exhaust clip. There we go. That about does it to this car. Moving on to my second purchase and probably my favorite car. This is my 1996 Nissan 240SX S14 Zenki that was converted to a Koki by Koki Kyle. This car is really fun to drive. This thing handles how you want it to. It's so much more of a driver's car to the Mustang. The Mustang's, here's how I look at things. The Mustang is a daily drifter. It's a daily driver that you can drift. This is a drift car. This is a driftable daily. No, this is a dailyable drifter. That's a driftable daily. This is a dailyable drifter. It's a drift car. It's not fun to daily, but you can do it. I drive it to work all the time. So, getting started with this thing, it is a JZX, it is a VVTi 1JZ out of a JZX 110 Corolla. Yeah, that's right. This thing has a Toyota Corolla engine in my Nissan. So, not much done to the 1J. It still makes about 350 horsepower, and this thing is plenty for such a light car. That's another reason why this car is so much more fun to drive than the Mustang. This thing, with the cage and the engine swap, probably weighs about 2,600 pounds. The Mustang, soaking wet, is probably about 3,400 to 3,600 pounds, so about 1,000 pounds heavier, and makes about the same horsepower. So this thing, in comparison, is a rocket ship. So, I won't get into the nitty-gritty with this thing. It's basically stock. It has a whole set HY35 turbo off of a Dodge diesel truck. If you guys want to know more about the build, I have done a full breakdown of this one, but I just want to go over the main things. It has the engine. It has a chipped up paint job. Eric paint my car. Please, I'm begging you.
It's getting bad out here.
I'm getting desperate out here. Yeah, we have another set of reps, ESRs on everything I own. We have a Villains cut knuckle angle kit, which makes it still a pretty drivable car. Yeah, we have a Villains cut knuckle angle kit, which is stock knuckles just extended. Similar kit to the Mustang, which makes it so drivable on the streets. Not everything rattles loose. Interior, here we go. We got my Elzimuth wheel, because I couldn't get a suede wheel that I liked in time, and I really like this wheel. It feels nice. We have our Bell Raceworks cage. We got the full 9 yards on this thing. This thing's a ripper. Back here, we have our Vibrant Ultra Quiet exhaust. Again, I've gone through this whole build, so I won't bore you guys with all the details of it. But yeah, this thing is fun. Tuned by Freddy Spec. Spec tuned, cool. Drift HQ, not sponsored. Once again, this thing is on BC coilovers. Everything I drive is on BCs. Now, probably going into my favorite memory with this car, I have 2 favorite memories. One of them isn't on camera, so I'll include a second one. My number 1 favorite memory was going on the test drive with Kyle in this thing and hitting boost for the first time. We were driving around, and this thing was so overwhelming because I had never driven a welded diff car before, and I was keeping it a secret from my girlfriend at the time too, because she didn't know I was buying a car. I wanted to show up back home with a different car and see what she would do. Posted a video about that a while back, and yeah, I was keeping this a secret. I'm about to spend a bunch of money on this car, and he's like, go ahead, give it some gas. And I roll into it in 3rd gear, and the turbo spool for the first time, and like the feeling of like lag torque instead of just instant torque like the Mustang, that was such a great memory. It felt so cool the first time. And since I don't have that on camera, another favorite memory was taking Steven and Harris on test drives when I first got this thing around wet Orlando, spinning 4th gear, and just putting around Orlando in this thing when I first bought it.
Even just the drive there, we were excited.
Oh yeah.
We drove there.
Oh,
together.
also almost rear-ending Steven. I didn't include this in the video, but as soon as I bought it, we went to the first red light after leaving Kyle's house, and Steven got brake checked, and I was looking for the fan switch because the car was getting hot, and Steven has stopped in front of me. I locked up all 4 wheels, and I went into the median of the road, so I didn't rear-end his BMW. But yeah, great memory.
Guys, I don't know what I did. I just bought a new car, and it has that. Jeez, this thing is rowdy. Ready?
What? That was sick.
That was barely getting into boost. It's spinning. It's so wet.
Dude, that ass. I can hear that you're not putting any throttle at all of them.
Saggy S14 door. Fix coming soon, but this is the bane of this car. Yeah, over fenders.
What about the wheel bearing?
They don't need to know about the wheel bearing. There's a bad wheel bearing. It's getting fixed soon. I got a new
Allegedly
ISO
getting fixed soon.
Allegedly.
I heard there's rumors
out there that your car is smoked. Do you care to comment on that?
No comment.
Pleads the fifth.
Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Kind of a weird video. Leave a comment if you watch this far if you like my microphone holder. I really upped the budget for this video. I got us a $40 microphone, if you can believe that. Because it's only the best for you guys. Yeah, thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.